parenting styles, do they have an impact on the child's development as well as behavior?
I mean, there's no doubt that this is the case. I mean, every single book about parenting and about psychological developments will have told you that. The usual classical model would be how responsive you are to your kids, meaning they ask something, you respond to that, versus how demanding you are.
Okay.
Yeah. So ultimately, it has always been based on that graph. So you can choose to be very responsive, okay, but not demanding. So you are very laissez-faire kind of parents. Whatever they want, you give.
Okay.
But you know what they're going to bring up. In general, 99% of the time, you know what kind of kids they're going to bring up. You can choose to be very authoritarian. I'm the boss. You listen to me.
Oh, okay.
You follow my rules. I'm not going to respond to your demand. I'm not going to respond to your different, subtle individual differences.
Right.
Because every kid is different. Right?
Yeah.
So non-negotiable.
So I'm going to be the constant.
Correct. So what's going to happen is that you're going to end up with kids that are going to be the number one, very insecure. Okay, because they only know one rule. Okay, they are going to be competitive. They're going to be rebellious by the time they are in teenage years, because it's nature, it's within us to want to establish our own foothold.
The pushback, right?
Correct. Okay, because ultimately from 0 to 18 is you grow into adult to stand on your 2 feet. You don't suddenly at 18 become an adult.
Yes, correct.
So that formative year is when they learn to stand on themselves. And how they stand on themselves is they have to remove themselves from you.
They have to find their own identity as well,
Correct.
right?
So at the point, if during this entire process, if we do not give in, you can end up very rebellious kids.
Oh.
Okay? Then there's also the totally neglectful type. You don't respond to them, but you also demand nothing. Okay? You are left onto your own devices.
Right.
Okay? Then in that case, these are the ones that tends to be aimless. They don't have ideas how to build themselves up. They tend to be a bit more hesitant, a little bit more
frightened to step out of the comfort zone, almost.
Correct. Yeah. So of course, in theory, the best is always you are responsive, but you also have reasonable demand from the kids.
Okay.
So we call it authoritative.
Yes.
And this is when you are firm, okay, but you are responsive. Yes, why would you want to do this? Let me understand this. Okay, but I don't think it's a good idea. For example, these are the usual rationalizations, reasonings, discussion that you
So
have.
almost like validating the child, yet offering your own reasons behind it.
Yeah, so you need to have, because you have to come from the viewpoint of adults, okay, for the best interest of the child. As long as your child understands that and they have room to actually do this, it's ideally the best.
Right.
Okay, but this is ideal.
Okay.
Okay, I barely get near to the ideal myself. Okay, because like I said, each of us have come from different backgrounds. We try to put together a family. The result is usually very different. But you need to have an idea where you're trying to be. So parenting style will determine what you bring up.
Okay.
And no one's to say right or wrong. Okay, because I have certainly seen parents who decided that I want to give my child free rein early. Okay, yes, I might have some difficulty early.
Yeah.
Okay, but they will mature a bit earlier, they will send their own fit earlier. And that part is usually quite gray, exactly which point is correct. And then, but you can see, is it the desired effect you want to be? You decide for yourself. Yeah.
That's interesting. But what if parents don't agree?
That's difficult, isn't it? It's all about communications and negotiations and that. I mean, I certainly sometimes don't agree with my wife. So, example, I'm a little bit more rigid because
like structure and everything in its place.
Because it gets
more predictable, right?
Messy things gets to me.
Okay.
Okay, but my wife is, I wouldn't say polar opposites, but certainly she tries on multitasking, she tries on things on the go, she tries on chaos.
Okay.
Okay, and she's certainly more artistic than me, which is kind of stereotyping it a little bit, but that tends to be the way it is.
Right, the yin and the yang, right? Like.
Oh, I mean, we're not exactly polar opposite. I'm going to stress that we are not.
Okay.
But there are bits and pieces that we don't agree. And we just to learn that sometimes we have to agree to disagree. Okay? And we have to just allow the child to find the in-between.
Okay.
Because ultimately, it's actually not about my rule or her rule. Certain fundamental things are quite easy. I mean, don't do harm, be kind, and things like that. These are all straightforward. There's nothing arguable.
All the fundamental.
Correct.